Wow, guys, you gotta watch out. You gotta keep your eyes peeled. Big news alert right now. USDA wants you to register your garden. How many of you guys are gonna register your garden? I'm not registering mine. I wanna tell you guys what's new, what's going on with this, what to watch out for, and where this is going. Info you should know coming right up.
So I guess this what we doing now? The People's Garden? The USDA invites you to register your garden. Check it out. They must think we some kind of fools.
Welcome back to all of our subs. If you're brand new here, like news updates that affect you, prepping, emergency preparedness type tips weekly, be sure to hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date. Let's jump into this one. Okay, first of all, for all of you that have been asking how I've been doing, on this video right here, getting stabbed on the Homestead, in case you missed it, I'm doing okay. The first couple days straight out of surgery were tough. Lots and lots of pain when you got two tendons trying to reattach. Being one-handed and having a winter glove on, not fun. Thank you all for the get well soons and the prayers. Super appreciate it. Another thing I wanted to mention real quick before we get going on this topic, YouTube just extended an offer to our channel to allow memberships. With being a member, it gives you guys an opportunity to support our cause. Our cause is to reach and teach. As you know, there's a lot of craziness going on and we gotta get the word out to as many people as possible. If you guys wanna bless us monthly for as little as $2.99 a month, it adds up fast and can really help me get better equipment and further help us get out more and better videos to the masses. Now there's 3 tiers of membership and you're gonna get different perks for each one. It's gonna come down to private live streams, chats, behind the scenes stuff. But the coolest thing by being a member is you get these cool little emojis attached to your name. And I made them so that they have military ranking. So the longer you're with us, the higher your rank goes up. So anyway, it'd be super cool if you guys join the membership, help us out, because this right here is knocking me out of one of my professions. So I'm gonna be making a really strong move to become a full-time YouTuber, keep you guys informed. Okay, so back on track. First of all, this website right here, nrcs.usda.gov. USDA opens People's Garden invitation to gardens nationwide. Really good clips for you guys I'm gonna show you. And then I'm gonna remind you of some things that have happened in the past when it comes to giving the government control of your garden. Things that people forget about. Now, you guys remember the video I did on AMOS Miller. It's the Amish guy that got busted by the feds for not doing things on his private farm where he sells his produce and his meat to a private group because he truly wants to do things organic, God's way. Well, the feds didn't like that and he just got slapped with a $300,000 fine. Now, not everyone's going to be at this Amish level, this Amos Miller level of selling things, running the garden. But remember, the government wants their cut and they want you to follow all the rules. You guys got to remember when it comes to food and water, this is something that they're heavily going to be trying to take control of in a big way. And they're going to pinch off a little bit here and a little bit there. A lot of people are looking back at the old Plandemica and they looked at how the government ran that operation. They're not liking how that was handled. How you think they're going to handle this garden situation if they have control? Nothing nefarious going on, right? They just want you to register your garden. Remember, it's a way of tracking, a way of monitoring. Tracking and monitoring that is getting way out of control. You like freedom? Well, this is another pinch away from that freedom that's going to get carried away. Now, some of you may have already heard this because it's kind of been blowing up on some platforms. I noticed a couple of my favorite peeps have already put it out there. Doug and Stace, Popular Preparedness, Ice Age Farmer, loved Ice Age Farmer. I wish he was still on YouTube. You need to remember, they're gonna make this program sound cool. They're gonna give you all kinds of incentives. You're gonna have special access to loans, grants. They're gonna spice it up. They're gonna make it very attractive. But in the end, you are put on a government map. Where your garden is, maybe you're gonna have access to getting free seeds. Where did the seeds come from? Hopefully not from old Billy Gatesy. Hopefully they're not bioengineered seeds. Or like Doug mentioned, maybe they'll give you some free fertilizer. What's in the fertilizer? Nothing ever nefarious going on with these programs, right? I mean, really, do you guys remember what happened in Florida?
But in the 80s, the government of Miami-Dade County in Florida forced every citizen in that county to destroy every one of their citrus plants, whether it was orange or grapefruit or whatever. Every citizen had to destroy their citrus. And they did it under the auspices of an invasive, I think it was a tsetse fly. Yeah, so you can see the writing on the wall here. You can see where this is going. You know, the more people have their gardens registered, they're going to start making you purchase permits to have a garden, which is going to give them the right to come in and inspect your garden anytime they want to. And eventually they're going to claim that there's now an invasive species going around the whole entire country, and that the government is the only one who has the ability to safely grow crops in a controlled environment. Yeah, you can see where this is going. In fact, in Hawaii, they've already been doing that for years. If you grow 420, for example, you have to buy a tag, a very expensive tag that you have to affix to every single one of your plants. And with that tag, you give the government the absolute legal right to drop down in helicopters into your yard and inspect that tag to make sure that it's not expired or to make sure that it's paid for anytime they want to. Now, this is not a conspiracy theory. I know a lot of people who live in Hawaii. I own a house in Hawaii, and this happens all the time. So, for those of you who don't know, this is not unprecedented. And I'm not talking about the people who think that the government, I'm not talking to the people who think the government does everything that's in their best interest. I'm talking about the people who are already awake, but don't know that things like this have already happened in the past, and that is where this is headed. Perfectly in alignment with their current agenda.
It's crazy, and that's where it's going to go, because you're going to be put on a map and they're going to know where to come and find you. No one wants to live with that kind of control. It's government overreach that gets us into a whole bunch of problems. But what they'll do is they'll say that there's some invasive species out there that they need to come and spray your crops down with because they need to make sure it's not existent in your crop, and they know where you're at because you got put on a map. And then the next thing is you're going to have permits. You're going to have a permit to own that garden. So how does that make you feel? Having to have a permit to grow some food on your own property. And when they're done with that and they scale up their control some more, they're going to want it to be done only in a controlled environment from there on out. So that means government-owned and operated gardens. No more personal gardens, no more private gardens, no more growing your own food. I like how this old-timer puts it. Listen to this.
So now we're seeing these posts on how the USDA wants you to register your garden. Mighty nice of them to care so much, isn't it? So it's a collaborative effort, you know, kind of uniting the community, you know, helping out your neighbor kind of a thing. Sounds sweet, you know, like most government projects do. Speaking of government projects and things, back in January 4th, 2011, Obama signed into law the Food Safety Modernization Act. Now read that law, simple English, about 310 pages. Kind of shocking in some ways, you know, the audacity of these people. They can have somebody running this program, you know, or let's say a safety program, they've made some big effort or whatever. The person running would be an appointee. Doesn't need any agricultural or farming background, just an appointee, you know, kind of like Hunter Biden, you know, with fuel and energy. And they can come in with their list of contaminants, test your soil, and go, oh, you got a contaminant. We have to destroy your garden. Yeah. You know, composted cow manure is a contaminant? Yeah, even though it goes through the changes during composting and all that, right? Yeah. So your organic garden, that's out the window, you know, or destroyed on the burn pile or whatever. I was wondering, would they come in for them safety garden sweep sometime around harvest time? And then what would they want to do then? Get a warrant to check your pantry to make sure you didn't have any canned foods, dried or frozen? No root cellar or anything? Confiscate and destroy all that too? Put you on a food stamp program maybe. Give you some of Bill Gates shit. You know, about 100 years ago, you know, we didn't have to ask permission for anything. Hunting, fishing, marrying, driving, nothing. But this is what happens when you don't keep your politicians on a short leash and you comply just 1 degree, thinking it's better for everybody. It makes things safer. It's better for America, whatever the fuck. And this is where you end up. Now, people my age, you look at this stuff and it's just totally off the charts as far as weird governmental overreach. But somebody from, let's say, a third my age, they're looking at it like, okay, sounds okay. And that's how it goes, bit by bit, generation by generation. My grandkids now that, grade school can be in this garden. What happens when they're adults? No one's allowed to have one. What happens when, they're my age, if they live that long? It'll just be some faint memory, seem like a fantasy that people could actually grow their own food. You think about it, because it's happening.
I like old timers like that. They know a lot of stuff and they've got a lot to teach you. You can bet when I'm around old timers, I'm zipping and I'm listening because I've learned a ton from old timers. So registering all of these community gardens is a start. It's an open door to registering your personal garden. Don't buy into it. There's no reason to register this garden with the government. You can have private sites and have community gardens. You don't need to get the government involved. It's just another avenue of overreach. And you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile every single time. I'll leave a link to that nrcs.usda.gov site down in the description below. Also leave a couple other videos that you may have missed. And don't forget to learn about crickets in your food, guys. Stay safe out there. Keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing. We'll see you guys on the next one.